still very experimentative. Like I wouldn't trust
Like earlier people used to say like we can vibe code and we can create apps. Hello everyone. Our today's guest is Mr. Atul Sreenath, CEO of Ideate Next, an AI first GTM studio. Atul is a digital transformation leader and AI strategist with extensive experience helping businesses using AI, automation, and modern marketing to drive growth. Today, we'll explore the world of AI agents and we'll understand how they are changing the future of work and businesses. Welcome, Atul.
Thanks, Raj. Thanks, Raj, for that lovely introduction.
Yeah. So, Atul, today I want to ask so many questions about AI agents. So, my first question is what is an AI agent?
So in today's age and time, typically what happens is most people make a mistake and assume that an agent refers to something that is just an automation. So early on in earliest time, we always had, before the frontier LLMs also, we had robotic RPAs or robotic process automation, couple of other things. But in a simple and the most easiest way to understand an agent today is an agent is nothing but that goes beyond automation, is able to take a decision that is not pre-programmed. So the moment you give it a task, it takes certain calls basis the parameters or the guardrails that you've given. And the moment it reaches a blocker or it reaches a place where it has to decide for itself and it takes an action against it is an agent. That's it. If you confuse it anything outside that, then you will be in trouble because a lot of people are selling agents today in the market by just automating some scripts. They're saying a chatbot is an agent. No, an agent is something that has to take a decision by itself, something a human in the loop could have typically taken, but the agent is taking it. So that's the most easiest way for defining an agent today.
Okay. Now, what is the difference between traditional automation and AI agents? Like you said, AI agents can take their decision on their own. Like earlier, we used to do automation on email marketing and then WhatsApp marketing. I want to understand, like, what is the core difference between traditional automation and AI agents?
So traditional automation had an end state. So there is a
Right.
baseline and there's an end line. In the end state, the program or the outcome is defined. Automation stops at that definition. An agent goes beyond that. Now, if I have to just define it from a very layman's terms, right? You roll a ball on a table, it keeps going straight. You pre-program it saying that the length of the table is say 15 centimeters, 20 centimeters, whatever that number be. The automation would take a decision that at the 30th centimeter, I have been told to stop, I will stop. An agent will inference at that stage saying that, is there place to move around? Can I take a right and then explore another angle to this? Can I keep moving? If the objective of the agent is to keep moving, it will try and figure out ways on how it can escape that guardrail, or rather optimize for the outcome that you have asked it to do. So that's the basic difference between a agent and our prehistoric or our early automation tools or automation pathways that you always seen and defined.
Okay. Now, why? I mean, so many people are talking about AI agents in 2026, and what new technologies or changes made them popular?
See, when ChatGPT came, right?
Right.
ChatGPT was targeted more towards the consumer base. They realized that if we are able to get adoption through the roof, I think at some point you will get more and more users onboarded. Claude
Right.
came into the system. Claude came in and said that we will focus more on developers. So Claude came in, Claude Design came in, Claude Cowork, Claude Code. So these are all your. So today's developers, most of them, 30 to 40% of them, depend on Claude CLIs. That's how it is. Then also what happens is Gemini also came in and said that we would also be there. So you have GPT, you have Claude, you have Gemini. Now, all of these guys started pushing in massive PR. They started doing influencer IM marketing through distributorship through creators. and the use cases they tried creating, right? They kept saying that use our frontier LLMs or our LLM, use our technology in order to build agents to get your outcomes. We don't know what is possible. You take a call, you decide, you experiment, and then you figure out. That kind of push at a creator level started exciting a lot of folks. And then you now have today people experimenting, consuming their tokens, spending money on subscription. You hear of these stories online that not Nvidia, Meta's blown through his entire budget for the year for token consumption in the organization. Now, those kind of stories is what's coming up. It is nothing but the PR push at the top, creators adopting, and the fear of missing out. Today, as an agency owner, we're always thinking. So we still depend on traditional workflows for our production, for our video creation, etc. But we have a separate R&D team. We keep pushing money to our employees, saying that please experiment, see what is possible, see where the benchmarks are, see what the limitations are, because we're always scared, that fear that what if the client says, "Arey, ye to AI kar lega." And now when you don't know something, you'll be like, "Arey, theek hai, haan, AI to kar sakta hoga." But today, if you know what it is, you can always push back, saying, "theek hai, sir, aapko lagta hai, if you know that AI is going to do it, please go ahead." The moment client experiments and sees the limitations of that AI, they all come back, saying that, "Guys, just let's go in a traditional method and wait." So that's where that experimentation, fear of missing out, the frontier LLMs pushing the creator economy is where that entire buzz of agentic workflows, agent karte hain, all of those things.
Okay.
And you also need to understand these large companies are all experimenting, right? They themselves don't know what is right or what is wrong. So every quarter is not a new narrative.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the biggest misunderstanding that people have about AI agents today?
The biggest misunderstanding is I've seen a lot of these Instagram videos that says that 1% company, 1 trillion 1% company. Not possible. Like, you need humans, you need people. Like, for example, Meta laid off about 8,000 folks, but they're rehiring 7,000 people.
Right.
Now, the 8,000 people were not bad guys or irrelevant teams. They were really talented people. It's just that the business needs had outgrown that talent. Hence, they had to let go of that talent. The rehiring JDs, if you see today, are actually to ensure that AI is able to work. So now, for example, they're not looking for core developers. They're looking for orchestrators or architects who understand the entire vision or the gamut of services or the periphery or the business canvas that can tell their bot or LLM or AI tools that this is what they need to build. They can validate what the tool has built and then go to market with that. They are rehiring. So 8,000 people they've let gone, 7,000 they're rehiring because the JD has changed. The talent was not bad. So when people say that I can run a $1 trillion, $100 billion, $1 million billion, whatever company is 1%, those are very, very rare outliers. You can run it max for a copywriting company, like a copywriting agency. But when you have multiple workflows, no, it's not possible. It's very, very hard.
Okay. Okay. Can you please explain like how this AI agent works? How they make a decision, how they take actions, how they're using different tools and fixing their own mistakes?
Okay. So, an agent by definition, right? You can either build it on, say, your GPT, you can build it on Claude,
Right.
you can build it on Hermes, you can build it out. Hermes is still if you remember, there was a huge PR around OpenClaw. So OpenClaw ke baad, because of the security issues and challenges, there's a different tool or an open weight tool called as Hermes. Hermes, if you install in a sandboxed environment like a Mac OS or anything that, or a Raspberry Pi, which is like an individual, it costs about 15-20 grand. You're able to install that Raspberry Pi, the agent on the Raspberry Pi. You give it a self-contained container, an environment for it to work itself. And what happens is you start building context for certain actions or workflows. So for example, if you want to build an agent on, say, Claude, you would say record your screen in terms of an action saying that this is my daily workflow. I go to my inbox. I look at these emails. I look at what my team has sent. This is my team. You give it the constraints, you give it the goal, and you give it all those instructions. You fill that context in, and then you give it a time to deploy that agent. So, for example, you say that at 9 o'clock in the morning, I want a summary of all my emails that has come in, so that you create a to-do list for me, so that I don't have to spend 30-40 minutes looking through my inbox. So the agent would go into my inbox, scour through the emails, and then understand that this is what is important to me based on the constants. And that's how the agent is built. A much easier way, like for example, that like most of the CS teams and etc. use, both on GPT as well as on Claude, there's something called as Claude skills and GPT skills. You're
Right.
able to write deep context skills for all of this. Then what happens is you set up triggers in your prompt. When you actually put in those prompts, each skill triggers by itself. So for example, if I want to build a UI UX website, today I don't need a UI UX designer to that extent of detailing. I still need it to complete 10 or 20% of the work. But today a Claude or a GPT is able to give me a deep, well-researched UI UX first level prototype, which I can convert into a Figma and then give it to my deployment teams to develop and take it ahead. It can be built just using simple skills. You don't need to sit and build agents for it. So that's how an agent is built today. It's pretty simple. If you have a $20 subscription on GPT, there is a on the left hand side there is a small thing called as agents. You can construct your workflow on that and you can deploy it.
Mhm. Okay, okay. So according to you, when should a person should take control of this AI agent, and when it is okay to let this AI agent work by itself? As you mentioned, like, I mean, there's a concern for privacy. For
Correct.
sure, everybody has that thing in their mind. And we are very much excited to use these AI agents. So how we can
So,
take
so,
this?
so your
Yeah.
question is, when does somebody take a
Should take
call when to use
control.
an agent?
Yeah, yeah. And how we and when it is okay to let an AI agent work by itself.
Okay, interesting question. Um, okay, so I would define it from a business person's perspective.
Right.
So we work with Microsoft, we work with AWS, we work with Google. So I remember reading an article with by Andy Jassy, the CEO for AWS. So he in one of his articles he said that every decision is either a revolving door, like you can go in and go out, or it's a full stop. Some decisions you take, there's just no coming back. Okay, I believe this is a personal opinion. An agent should not be allowed to take a decision where there is money involved, where there is anything legally involved, money, legal, and customer. These three pillars, if it compromises, no, your business is kaput. It's at the end of or the brink of failure. There's no coming back from that. Every other decision, no, an agent should be able to do from an automation perspective. Like for example, if you've got a accounts team, right? And the accounts team is supposed to scan and input certain things into Tally. Tally then goes into reconciliation books and all of those things. You just need one person at the start to scan your invoice. Then what happens is an agent can then be deployed to go and put it in the right places. And then first step is done, second step is done, third step is done. Those people can be reutilized into some other workflows. In the end, you keep somebody for validation or a QA QC saying that the agent has done the right work or not. And then you can keep filtering it. Now, those decisions can be reversed. Like, for example, a wrong tally, if the book balancing doesn't take place, you can still correct it. But imagine money is lost, legal is compromised, you're sitting in court for all of the nonsense, and a customer is at a loss. There's no coming back from those instances. So an
Right.
agent should only be used if the revolving door theory holds true, is my personal belief. It's still very experimentative. Like I wouldn't trust. Like, would you trust? Um, what is that? An agent flying your plane, not a pilot.
Right.
Like driverless cars do exist today, but still, it's the adoption is still it takes time. The trust is yet to be built to that
Right.
extent.
Right. So according to you, what type of work our agents are good at today, and what kind of tasks are still difficult for them to do well?
Uh, okay. Any repetitive task, like I said, that accounts, um, if it's in legal, if you're doing your filings and you're doing your case references, all of those things, and you're doing something called as grounding. Grounding is where you tell your agent or your bot to ensure that it does not hallucinate. It goes to only pieces of information that is publicly available, ratified by certain websites or things. So, for example, we had built a tool which is in the finance space, which is into, so these sakhis are there in these village level entrepreneurs. Uh, they ask certain questions in terms of fraud hua hai, kya karu, how do I go to the ombudsman, etc. So that
Right.
particular bot references only 200 validated websites. Now these are banking websites, RBI, websites that are not pushing product. Like any website that does not push their own banking product are the only ones that gets referenced. All responses are grounded to those 200 websites and the material within them. So that's what that AI bot or agent does. Now, that is what can be automated. Anything defined, anything repetitive, anything that can be recorded from a workflow perspective, and it is a very clear, defined parameter and outcome. You
Mhm.
can't tell a bot or an agent saying that I want to be best in the world. Best in the world is very subjective. Best
Right.
for you is very different from best for me.
Right.
So that's where agents kick in and you can define it well. Where it doesn't help today, where we have really seen challenges at our agency level. So we do a lot of Gen AI work as well. And
Right.
Gen AI, what we realized is we use a multitude of tools. Like from a workflow perspective, we use Comfy, Runway, Kling, Midjourney, all those tools. We still need people or directors or script writers who understand the story or narrative or script. A bot or an agent can't have context. Like, for example, I'm a Malayali,
Right.
and I know certain nuances or local cultures, how it's funny, some movie has come, a local reference. A bot or an agent can't pick up on those things.
Okay.
It can only reference and inference something that has happened in history and has certain call to action from the past. It can't think of something new. So creative, we still feel, even though cloud design and all, if you give the right input, you get a great output. So it works on those GIGO models, garbage in, garbage out, or if you give good input, you get a great output. But from a creative, I don't think an agent is still there. It'll still take some time. It
Okay.
still stitch the workflows, but no,
Okay. Can you please give us one more real life example of AI agents completing a task from start to finish, which people are using these days? Maybe in
a lot
India.
of them.
India.
No, so I'll not. I don't want to endorse anybody from a sales angle, but a lot of individual developers today. So, like one of our developers has developed his own product called Backstage. What does Backstage do? It's like his own CRM that tells him that if a particular brief is coming, where it's stuck in a system, of what is the Jira ticket that he needs to raise. So the agent automates the entire workflow from a backend perspective. There are SMP servers that are set up from an email information perspective, where, for example, after every task or place, which is automated by the way, there's an email that goes to the client saying that it has moved to the next step, it has moved to the next step.
Okay.
At an individual level, people have started building agents to make their life easier.
Hmm. Right.
Others, what has happened is I've seen execution, what they sell on paper versus what actually happens in the organization is very different. 100% on paper, by the time it reaches the actual execution, it's 5%. And then you have CFOs and CEOs complaining, saying, boss, I paid X number of dollars for this. What have I got in return? And
Right.
then people are complaining. Uh, so automation, I wouldn't still, or rather agent adoption, I still wouldn't say. But there are companies now coming ahead and doing it. Like, for example, I think Claude or not Claude, yeah, Claude actually went ahead with, I think, Blackstone or one of the larger companies in order to build a team of forward deployment engineers who would actually go understand the business, build the agent or bot or whatever you want to call it for that particular business or use case. Microsoft has called a business called as Frontier or something.
Mhm.
They have deployed 6,000 of their engineers into that business in order to, and what would they do? They would go into their customers, they would look at their workflows, and then they would build agents around it using Copilot.
Okay.
And then they would run adoption specific to that business's use case.
Okay. Okay.
It's still not happened though. It's still in the making.
So, which industries are getting the biggest benefit from AI agents today? Like, you must be having some use case.
Yeah. Tech is getting a huge push.
Okay.
Tech is massively getting a huge push. Call centers are getting automated. The early escalation matrices where you needed people at level 1, level 2, level 3, which is non-complex. A lot of chatbots are getting deployed. And these are the primary industries that are just getting a lot of benefit. Agencies are gone for a toss. Like today, we are constantly looking. By the way, at an agency level, a lot of the compression has already happened from a revenue perspective. You would have seen that WPP, Dentsu, and the large network agencies, they've all shifted headcount. They're consolidating a lot of the work inwards, and a lot of the contracts have gone out, and it has gone to distributed agencies. Also, at a client level, what has happened is they've started building in-house marketing teams, which are non-dependent on agencies, where they've realized today an LLM is able to support the work of a full execution team using 5 or 6 people.
Okay.
So the grunt work is now being done by the LLMs. The in-house marketing team is actually doing the work themselves instead of directing the agency what to do. Agencies are now trying to incorporate context that they've built with the client over a period of time, and hence the compression is happening where there's not much margin or revenue to be made. So we as an agency today are very, very skeptical in terms of where we want to go, what do we want to do, how would we win business. So that's why we always say we are GTM first, we are AI driven, and we don't sell run-of-the-mill items like a standalone website or an SEO or social media. Now, those are things that are taken for granted. Saying that if you're working with us, you have to deliver that. It's a hygiene. We are expecting that out of you. So that's where it is.
Okay. Now, if someone owns a small business, how a AI agent can help them without needing a team of technology experts? For small business also, these AI agents can help them.
You need basic tech
Okay.
because in our early times you had your front end developer, you had your
Right.
back end developer, you had your DevOps team, you had UI UX, and
Right.
you had a QA QC. You had your 5 pillars.
Right.
Automation, or rather your agentic workflows or your agents or LLMs, can take care of QA QC, can take care of frontier, can take off front end, UI UX to a certain extent, but you still need even DevOps, which is your cloud deployments, etc. You still can depend on agentic workflows, but your backend is not that easy. You still need somebody to build the logic.
Okay.
If the logic is not there, and the problem is backend people, they don't understand business logic. कि वहां पे माल क्यों पहुंचता है कि वो टाइम पे their question is वो क्यों पहले नहीं पहुंच सकता. Now the business guy will know it can't reach. Why? Because there's a certain distance from the supplier side to my office. There's a vendor integration that needs to take place.
Right.
Now
Right.
who's going to marry all that knowledge?
Right.
So for businesses to deploy, they can do automation they can pay $2,000, $3,000, get basic tasks done, and then you need an in-house engineering guy to monitor it. Something breaks down, some optimization is needed, some bug or challenge. You need somebody knows. It's not possible otherwise.
Like earlier, people used to say like we can vibe code and we can create apps, but now people are saying that we can create a prototype, but then we can't measure the security.
Exactly.
So, according to you, is it true or
It is true, 100% true. So, for example, there's a beautiful tool out there. You want to vibe code, there's something called Imagine. Imagine, you pay whatever X amount of tokens and money. You can vibe code a great CRM, you can do all of those things. But So the guy vibe coding it is your CEO, is your senior leadership, senior folks, etc., who understand the business logic.
Mhm.
Now, once they vibe code it, they're very happy that, oh, I didn't have to depend on anybody. Now,
Right.
they don't understand the cybersecurity issues with that. So, for example, you have your JSON tokens, your secrets exposed. It's not in the right framework. It's not secure. You've just left it in the open. You've just given your entire CRM or your information access to people to publicly access without knowing it because you vibe coded it.
Right.
Now, even though, however, like Imagine now does all of those security features, etc. Like till 2 months back, it still did a lot of tough things or wrong things, which are not the right architectural decisions. And architectural decisions also are heavily dependent on the quality of the data, number one, which is how secure you want to be. So, like, for example, if a large business vibe codes it and you're not production ready, you have, say, 10,000 people coming in at the same time. So there is a problem in deployment called as, or rather DevOps called as thundering herd. Thundering herd is where 10,000 people come in at the same time. There's a concurrency that takes place. Now your tool is not deployed to scale elastically. Then what happens? So you build a beautiful tool, but like if people can't use it at scale, it's just good to look at. It's like one of the Archie's wala things, you go to the store and then
Mhm.
good to old, nice to see, if you drop it, you buy it. That kind of problem.
Right.
So uh, vibe coding, yes, you can build a great prototype. Then you have to let a good backend team build it securely, safely, in the best possible way, using the best technology, which you can maintain and manage. Because there's an AMC piece also, right? Who's going to sit and manage it? There are code updates that comes in. You need a feature update. You need security patches that need to be going in. So there are tools out there. I'm not denying. So there is, with AWS, there's a great cybersecurity tool called Sentinel. Sentinel ensures that you're secure at all points. But then you need somebody who knows what it is, right? Like even to do a AWS root login versus where to go to see what is happening. Like something breaks, where do you go? Who do you go to? If you go to the guy who vibe coded, he's like, boss, I can't do this.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
where the gap of the challenge is.
Okay. So if an AI agent is making a mistake, how we can find it? Let's say I'm vibe coding, I have created an app, and I don't know what mistakes AI has done. Is there a process? Is there a way we can find those mistakes and then we can fix it, or we have to still wait for next few more updates when
You will have to wait. You'll have to wait. One of the biggest problems today, once you build a vibe coded, like for example, if in earlier times if something used to break, your developer used to, where he's put in a certain code or a
Exactly.
comment, what did
Yeah.
he remove, what did he change? When you vibe code it, it's like he's not written the code. How will he remember? Like then he's looking for certain fixing, and it's not that easy.
Okay, but then how we can trust an AI agent if we do not fully understand how it is making decisions? That means still it's a black hole for us. We are feeling happy that okay, we have built something, but then at the end, it's good to see, but that it's not good to use.
No,
Okay.
so you have to use that metric, right? It's called cost of the outcome.
Okay.
If an outcome is costing you 100 rupees and you're able to do it at 10 rupees and the 90 rupees saving is there, you can experiment. Go with that agent, work it, because you still get a delta of 90 rupees. Right? If that cost is like so huge that if you make a mistake with that agent and it's gonna cost you 1,000 rupees against a 10 rupee investment to save 100 rupees, you don't want to lose that 100 to 1,000 ka spread. That's the only decision making. How much does the cost of a mistake in that outcome cost me? If it's too much, I wouldn't use an agent. If it's a repetitive task and it's a revolving door decision, I would use an agent, experiment, optimize, and then see how I can save on cost.
Okay. Okay. But have you seen any security or privacy problems which AI agents have created, which has made that decision to stop that AI agent?
100%. Claude itself deployed its entire code based on one of its updates. Apple had a thing. So an agent is still, and these are large companies.
Right.
Within these large companies, imagine it is hoodwinked and come out of it. Like I remember reading a Reddit article where the CEO for Claude Darius, they were scared internally because Mythos, which is the latest model, has sent shockwaves in the banking industry, saying that it is one of, if fallen into the wrong hands, a lot of security measures within banks will get compromised.
Okay.
Now, hackers, dark web players, all of these people, if they get hands on this tool, uh, then it's a big problem. So the one that has come out to normal consumers, it's called Fable 5. Uh, and Mythos is something that is only given to enterprises which follow a certain guardrail and are part of the US constraints. It's not given access to everybody and anybody.
Okay.
So within large organizations itself, people are scared. So
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about some like jobs which are getting affected. So according to you, which jobs are most likely to get affected by AI agents, and which jobs will become more important in future with the usage of AI?
which I can speak from an agency point, right?
Right.
You still need a lot of good client servicing people. Relationships are important. Human to human interaction is important. Uh, Gen Z is coming out today, depending on Chat GPT, etc. They're generating a lot of slop, AI slop. Uh, Quality of work has gone down. So you still need great client servicing people. You need sales people. You need business development, etc. Anything that can get automated, fear for your job. Like for example, developers. Now I don't say solution architects or senior architects or DevOps people. I'm talking about front end people or people who write boilerplate code. So for example, at Infosys, Cognizant, TCS, all your GSIs, you have people who write boilerplate code, which is half the team. So for example, if there are about 150,000 developers at Cognizant, 50 to 60,000 of them write boilerplate code. That
Okay.
job can be automated. Your QA QC testers can be automated. But your production people, your people who actually write the vision, your PRD, your product spec, people who understand product managers are getting a lot more opportunity now because they are able to write code, build a prototype, create the MVP, test it out, fix the
Right.
bugs, test it with the teams, all of those things. Those guys are getting prominence. People who in our creative side, UI UX has taken a hit, like a lot of, because Figma can get automated to a certain level. Um, your good UI UX is still in demand because that requires something called as taste, right? Like if I've seen good stuff, I know user psychology theory, where people click, where my add to cart basket mismatches, etc. happen. Those guys are great in demand, but people who do your standard 2D graphics all gets automated because today a consumer is able to go on ChatGPT, do image generation, use Nano Banana, and create a agency level creative for himself if he puts in the right prompts. So
Okay.
that's where it's like a mix and a match. For
Right.
every job that is lost, I think half the job is getting created.
Okay. Okay. So as per you, like, what are the new skills which people should learn now to keep up with AI?
Oh, I think English is paramount. Like that's
English?
right. English is paramount. Like I know it sounds a little counterintuitive, but English paramount because if you're not able to articulate well to an LLM or to an agent what you want in clarity, you will get garbage. If your first input is bad, the subsequent token consumption and the output that you want is distorted, is completely off the mark. So for me, my fundamental problem today is English. If you understand English well, and if you're able to get your concepts right, or your first level principles or your first principles in order, then using LLM, your skills are enhanced. So the distance between a Gen Z employee and somebody with experience shortens. So that then becomes this less. Now, somebody with experience, right? Where does he go? He has to use these tools in order to upskill himself and go to the next level. That is the most critical part. Otherwise,
Okay. That means it, like, we should know how to write a prompt, right prompt, how
Right,
to
right.
write the right result which we are expecting.
Absolutely. Then soft skills. Soft skills is the most important thing. As I said, right? Your client servicing people, your sales people,
Mhm.
because people would rarely pay a non-human money, and sales being the most important uh, muscle or uh, line of a line item of any business. There's a great saying by Mark Cuban: "Sales cures all." If you have got a great sales team, if you've got a great uh, team which has got soft skills, they love the client loves them. Rarely the business moves out. They just keep
Right.
coming back. Those kind
Exactly.
of things are absolutely paramount. Anything in terms of deep studying, right,
Mhm.
uh, can be avoided. Like your history, arts, all of those
It's
um,
5 o'clock.
are not much apparent. Like I would not urge people to go in that direction.
Okay. But if someone is new to AI and feels confused, what is the easiest and safest way to start learning and using AI agents? If someone wants to learn AI agent today, according to you, what is the most easiest and safest way?
Very simple. Um, first, get uh, first if you want, depends on the industry also. Like for example, I'll tell you the learning journey for an agency. Learn Google Digital Garage. Learn, these are online certificates. There is
Right.
something called as Meta Blue or Facebook Blue in the olden times. Once you learn that, ChatGPT or OpenAI, ChatGPT is a parent company is called OpenAI. OpenAI School is there. If you just type OpenAI School, there's an entire plethora of courses that you get, and there is
Right.
something called as Claude 101.
Yeah.
Now, if you go through these two things, you're sorted. You will learn how to deploy agent, what are MCPs, how do I build skills on my Claude or my GPT, everything. How to use Claude Cowork, Claude Code, all of those things.
Okay. Okay. I think Claude has recently launched their certifications also
Yes.
for
Yes.
developers and other people.
Yeah.
We can learn about Claude using Claude Academy, and then we can get on the
Correct.
certificate as well.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So, according to you, what do you think? Like AI agents will be there in next 2 3 years. What is the future for AI agents?
Uh, I feel there is the concept of AGI, which is where um, frontier LLMs or GPTs or your tools start thinking for themselves.
Yeah.
This is the quote unquote the old movies Terminator and all where um, the the bot goes rogue and it goes sentinel. So
Yeah.
AGI is where the world is headed. Once it reaches there, nobody knows what is going to happen. If people claim they know what is going to happen, then that's a bad way to look at it. It's an assumption. After AGI, there is something called ASI. It's a super intelligence where AGI then evolves into something far more larger, where now these are conspiracy theories at the end. After AGI, then what is the next stage of evolution? It is ASI, where people then start looking upwards to an LLM to guide them, to tell them like an oracle. And that's where the conspiracy theory kicks in. So next step of evolution is AGI. After that is ASI.
What I have seen, like according to your conversation, and I have read other articles also, like AI agents will do human thinking, right? Like we think.
AGI, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. But then will it affect the creativity of people, like the human, or will it also copy the creativity part? Because creativity is something which human can do good. I'm not sure whether, I mean, an AI agent can do the creativity part. That is the one thing which will be important for people, maybe after 5 years, 10 years also. But I'm not sure. That's what I want to know. Like, do you think creativity will still become more important or less important once AGI things will come and then AI agents will have human like thinking?
Uh, I don't know this answer, but I'm going to try and
Okay.
answer it in a very different way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back in history, you had in the in the olden times you had the courts and everything, the
Right.
King's Court and all of those places, right? So
Right.
you had these artists, etc., who used to come paint the portrait of the king. You had the Mona Lisa painting that
Right.
gets the thing,
Right.
right? Recognition
Right.
today,
Right.
etc. Then came the advent of digital photography. People
Exactly.
came in digital photography, etc.
Right.
Now the value of those paintings today still exist. People still value it. There's a huge price around it, and there
Right.
is an art as a form of investment that goes around it, right?
Right.
And people say, "अरे ये तो अभी भी है." Now the
Hmm.
problem with that argument is they will say 10,000 painters, very 10 made it out and are famous and thing. Digital photography took away the value of the other 9,000 people out of the 10,000, right?
Right.
So they lost the value, but the 1,000 got an additional value. So
Okay.
creativity is very subjective. Tomorrow, if creativity evolves and it is like modern art or AI art, and suddenly people want or crave AI art, and
Mhm.
LLMs or agents are able to create that AI art, suddenly it's in demand. Then the need for old school creative artists who know freeform, who are very able, capable, suddenly they feel out of pulse, right? They're not part of the taste.
Right.
You don't know how that change happens.
Okay.
The guys coming after Gen Z will suddenly want to know, I'm okay with AI. I love this. It is my form of expression. AI understands me. I want this.
Okay.
And now suddenly brands sign to these guys.
Okay. Okay. So we have done so many, discussions on AI. I want to know, like, are you using an AI agent or AI tool every day? Do you have any
Yes.
automation
I
or
don't do
personal tools?
automation. I don't do automation as such because
Uh-huh.
I'm still scared at my level giving it access to my inbox.
Okay.
What I use is Claude skills primarily. I've got automation triggers set up for all of my work. Like, for example, if I know a brief is coming, how to evaluate my brief, how to build a certain UI UX. I started off my career as an agency owner in SEO. So I know my SEO protocols, what's happening, AEO, GEO, what am I looking at, getting my HRS research done the way I like it, the way I want it. So I've sat and written huge skill pages, which I've deployed on Claude, which I've deployed on GPT, where I put a certain input and I get my outputs, which used to take me a week to get done. Today it takes me 2 hours.
Okay. Okay.
I am personally still not comfortable with an output that is 100% agent driven.
Okay. So you still validate each and everything which
Yes.
AI creates for you.
Yeah, because what happens is, if at the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, I'm not looking in at, I reach step 10, it takes
Mhm.
me a whole lot of time to build it again. I'd rather do it from scratch. So I'd rather do it step by step with certain amount of automation, where I know that I know what the output looks like, and
Mhm.
then go to step 10.
Okay. Okay. I think we have talked so much about the future of AI, what all things we should know while using AI, and how companies are using these things. Well, we are at the end of our podcast now. So
Thanks,
thank you
Alex.
very much, Atul, for sharing your insights and experience. It was a
Lovely.
pleasure having you on this podcast, and we are sure like our listeners have learned a lot from this conversation. So once again, thank you very much, and
Thanks, Raj.
looking forward to see you again in next few more months so that we can have some new updates about AI.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Raj. Have a nice evening.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.